Hey, welcome to the Major League Minute Podcast. I'm Doc. I'm here with GNP. Today we're talking all things MLV. How you doing?
And maybe a little tiny bit of LOVB.
Oh, really?
Just a little tiny.
Okay, just little tiny. Then we'll talk a little love. Looks like the championships ended, but we'll get into that in a little bit. We're at episode 24, week 15 recap, week 16 preview. I did want to say if our audience, we did bump up our subscribers, but we didn't meet our goal this week. We were hoping to get 100 subscribers on YouTube. Looks like we fell a little short. We're at 95 subscribers, so
That's okay. We're
please,
gonna keep grinding.
yeah. If you
Gonna
find
keep
this
on working.
podcast entertaining and you're enjoying it, subscribe to us on YouTube and then follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We'd love to connect with you on those platforms. Should we start off with the volley update? I mean, you got caught celebrating.
I did. I did. I was so excited. I was number one. It was short-lived. Man, did I enjoy it while it lasted. I was a little bit bummed. I cannot believe that my roster this week, I don't want to name names, but it was my middle blockers, very high scorers, and this specific week they did not come through for me, and I was very much shocked. I so anyway, I
But early
lived
on in the
in the
week, you
number
were
one
number one,
position.
right?
What?
Early on in the week, you were number one because I seen that we put that on our Insta and TikTok that
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was number one, but then my the middles that I had didn't follow through, and it brought me down.
later in the week, the later matches of the
Yeah,
week. Okay.
yeah. So, still fun. I was living on that high for a little bit, but
I mean,
now
that was your first time eclipsing the top spot. I mean, you dethroned Tallahassee Turtles.
is that the name, Tallahassee Turtles, or it looks like you put a different name in here?
The Tallahassee Turds. You've been
All fun and
Tallahassee
games.
Turtled.
All fun and games, Tallahassee. We are just jealous of you. That's all.
He,
Um, yeah, I dethroned him. I think his name's Kenny, but
okay.
dethroned him for a hot minute. But now I'm back to sitting third, and M Volley, they took my place at second.
It happens. Also, we upped our fantasy league participants to 54 teams. Our secondary goal, our new goal was 58, so we're definitely en route to 58 with what, 2 weeks to go?
Yep, 2 weeks ago. There's only 18 weeks.
So
And
you must have gotten some clarity in terms of the fantasy league doesn't extend into the final four.
I was going to say, let me actually back up. There are 2 weeks left. There's 18 weeks of the season, but fantasy with volley ends week 17. So May 3rd is the last day to participate in the fantasy league this season.
Okay, so if they still
Hey,
want to
it's been
play
a fun ride. I've enjoyed it a lot.
thoroughly, if they still want to play, they have to sign up before that last week if they want to be a part of the league.
So, our top scorers of week 15. We have a new name in the top
Boy,
three.
you
I
say
feel
that
like I've
every
been
week.
saying that a lot lately, but third place was Lekator member Mena. She scored 83.6 this week. Second place, Omaha Supernova's Sarah Parsons. She scored 90.1. And the new name in the top three this week, which dominating performance in my opinion. First place from San Diego Mojo, Taylor Sandbothy at 98.5.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
So
I watched the interview with her after their first match against Atlanta, and I thought she spoke really well. I thought she definitely emphasized like the team aspect and the culture. So yeah, do you know off the top of your head, did you have any of those three on your team last week?
Yeah, I think I had Sarah and Taylor, but it didn't move the needle. I'm still sitting 15th. I've been sitting 15th since day one.
Hey, you'll get there someday.
I'm running out of time. It's either now or never.
Someday. Might have to be next year.
Right. I'm
But
running out of time, but do you really want to talk about Love finals? You got it on the roster here.
yeah, I think it's worth noting, talking about for a smidge. Um, it just was just a pure entertaining story. I mean, you couldn't have written it better. Love Austin needed to win the second match, and they did, and so they forced a golden set to 15 right then and there after that five setter already.
Hmm.
And they won. They won the golden set and therefore the championship. And it just, again, you could not have written a volleyball story any better than that. That's like what the fans love to see. At least, maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody, but certainly me. I mean, I want more and more volleyball, and so I just thought that was really, really cool. Madison Skinner's acceptance speech of the MVP award was seriously, it was moving for me. I actually got teary eyed. My husband and I were watching it, and he agreed, like, that was one of the best acceptance speeches that we've ever seen from Madison. And it just was very team centered and memories and like all the love. And so it just was a cool thing for me to see from her. I thought that was really special.
So
But
Love
yeah, the
won it
volleyball
last year as
itself
well,
was
too, right?
she was not only a back-to-back champion, but she was back-to-back MVP of the championship series.
Okay.
So she got this sick leather jacket. Yeah, I thought it was like this blue leather what do you
Letterman. Letterman jacket.
Letterman jacket, and
Hmm.
they had like all the logos on it. I just thought it was really slick looking, and I was like, that's a really nice touch.
With all that being said, I'm not a huge fan of the golden set thing. I mean, I'm thinking if somebody wins match one, somebody wins match two, there should be a third match, not a sixth. Do you have any idea why they've chosen that format?
I mean, I can make assumptions, timing, availability of gyms, the schedule. A lot of Love players are national team members, including Eric Sullivan for Team Austin is the national team coach. Um, so getting the players the most rest that they can and before they head into the national season. So I can make all those assumptions. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I want to say that I also agree with you. Although the golden set is like entertaining in the moment, I don't necessarily think that it's entirely fair
Right.
because you see Love Austin have all the momentum. I mean, they were thriving in that fifth
Right.
set of the second match, and that fed into this golden set. And so, do I think it's fair? Not really. But do I think it is entertaining? Absolutely.
In that scenario, I think I'm in favor of a golden match, not necessarily a golden set.
So when you say a golden match, it
A
would
winner
just
take
be a
all, a
third
winner take
match.
all. Yep.
Yeah, but it not like a when you say so golden set is like just one set to 15, and then you said golden match and I was
A
like,
golden
"Oh,
match
it's
is one match, regular match
okay.
for all the marbles. I mean, and I'm not buying what you're saying. Oh, let's shut it down because we got to get to the national team. I mean, this is for all the marbles. We need
You're
a
not
full
buying
match.
what I'm saying? What's your idea then?
We it's a best out of three, full three matches.
I I know, but what's your thoughts as to why they did it the way they did?
I have no idea because it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Because
Well,
if you're legitimately playing for all the marbles, I think it's only fair. It's only right to start that
yeah.
third match
And
from
this
zero
isn't
zero.
what they did last season, so
Oh,
maybe next season will look different again because they just are learning and they're making changes, it seems
okay.
like each season. So, um, yeah, maybe next year they'll hear our input and maybe they will make changes
Yeah,
if
right.
we're loud enough. So, yeah, pretty good, entertaining weekend of volleyball, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely enjoyable. It looks like it was on the USA Network, which was easy to find on, a major network. It wasn't, I was expecting ESPN or somebody to pick that match up, but did not.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell our fans a little bit about you've been working on your celebration dance, your cellies at your dance practice?
Okay, no, I have not been working on any cellies, but I know where you're going with this. I was thinking over the weekend watching a lot of volleyball, there is a very specific action that liberos take after they get a great dig, and that is the immediate hand clap. And it is just funny to me, like it's such a distinct action that that position alone does. So when they get a great dig, you you will almost always see a libero from any team immediately start clapping like, come
Right.
on, get it, that was a great dig, and just like encouraging like to get the kill or whatever. But I just
Yes.
thought that was funny because I saw it multiple times this weekend.
That's how the liberos celebrate with a clap, a hand clap. They're giving their own applause. And
That's
then
their mid rally celly.
and
Yeah.
this ball is
That-
up, you better go get it. I upped it, go
Yes.
get it. Like
It's like the clap is
pronto.
like a demand.
Yeah. Yes. Without you're demanding without saying anything.
Exactly. Hey, Doc, you never told everybody where you're at. How come
With
we're not in studio together?
celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary down in Siesta Key,
Woo!
Florida. So that's
30
why my
years.
forehead is beet red, and
Congratulations. 30 years is something special. Congratulations.
you betcha. So in light
That's
of
why you
that,
got
we talked about
those
love,
red cheeks.
how they finished their season. We're doing a completely different format. The Final Four schedule, it's on what, Thursday and Saturday. I think I checked that out. We had made some promises to the audience that if the Supernovas make it, we're going to the Final Four, right? 100%. If the
Yep, I'm
Supernovas
in.
don't make it, we're a solid maybe.
We're a coin flip.
Okay.
We'll leave it up to chance.
And that still
But
holds
yeah,
true.
that's right. The semis will be May 7th and the finals will be May 9th. Which I remind me, do you remember last year? I thought the finals were on Sunday, which was Mother's Day.
I don't
Do you
remember because
remember?
didn't we leave Saturday or we left the day before the finals because we were one and done.
Maybe it was Thursday and Saturday and we left Friday. I think it was Friday, Sunday.
I do too because we
Because
wanted to be home for Mother's Day. You're right.
Mother's Day and because graduation of our nephew and niece. So
Okay.
um, I'm happy to see that it's a Thursday, Saturday this year. Just
Right.
that selfishly, I just like that better. But we'll see how that pans out.
Along those lines, I looked at the TV schedule. They are going to be televised on ION. Any idea?
Ion.
Yeah.
I
Have you ever?
don't think I have any experience with that, or I don't remember ever watching anything from there.
Okay. And along those lines, I mean, while we're there, is there an opportunity for us to live stream and maybe like broadcast the match on our
From
live
our
stream?
that might require a lot of work,
Okay.
and I'm not really sure if the quality would be good.
Okay.
I mean, I do have this new iPhone Bitcoin Orange 17 Pro, but I don't I don't know if like also legally I wonder if we could live stream that.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
You're probably right. But we can
Well,
definitely
since
do a
you
live podcast, a live stream podcast.
Yeah, we could do real-time reactions during
Yeah, that'd be great.
the plays.
Can we get into this
Sounds like
next segment here? So I've scoured over the social media, some of the social media responses and questions and comments, and I wanted to run some of them back with you to see what you thought.
okay.
On Instagram, I asked, this was relating to our conversation with Mimi about passing. I said, is there a right and wrong way to pass? Question mark. And some of the responses was Wisconsin approach to passing is the only way. The right way to pass is, and then another one said the right way to pass is forward. The wrong way to pass is backwards. Beyond that, you choose a method you trust, you can replicate and believe in. Do you agree with those statements? Number one, Wisconsin's approach to passing is the only way.
I think that's a very strong statement to say that it's the only way. I probably would disagree if I had to
Sure.
go word by word. But the next comment I would very much agree with is like,
Which is,
as long as you're passing forward, if a different method works, for example, me versus Mimi. Mimi loves using her hands. I hate using my hands. Um, is one way right or wrong? I don't think so. But as long as we both pass it forward to the target, that's my point. Is like
right.
whatever the player's most comfortable with, whatever like they're physically able to do and succeed at. Um, I will say when she talked about Oregon's strategy, I thought that was really interesting and odd, if I dare say publicly. I thought that was weird.
Okay.
Because Mimi talked about like angling like towards the court or like right, like her
Yes.
heels almost to the sidelines.
She called
And
perpendicular, right?
I just thought that was so that was such a disadvantage if you are in, let's say you're in left back or zone 5
Mm-hmm.
and you have a server serving from zone 1 and they serve down the line. If you're already angled like towards the middle of the court and the ball is going to hit your high shoulder, I just thought that's such a disadvantage that you're putting yourself in. Um, don't see how that would be consistently successful.
Yeah,
So
you're
I
setting
thought
yourself up for a shankopotamus, right?
you set yourself up for what?
A shankopotamus.
Yes, that
You
is,
know
in
him?
my opinion, that's what you would be setting yourself up for, yeah.
So, in your defense, the next one of the comments was hand versus platform passing. And the comment was, if you are confident with your hands, 10 out of 10. If you're confident with your hands, 10 out of 10, float, receive the float serve with your hands if you're confident with them. Top spin, 10 out of 10. Use the platform for top spin. Float, use your hands if you're confident with your hands.
I would
You
also
agree?
agree with that. I
Oh,
think that if you are confident with your hands, that is ultimately the best way to control the ball, right?
I
You
agree.
actually have like a firm grip on the ball and you can direct it. It's easier to direct a ball with your wrists and your fingers than a flat platform. However, maybe I'm wrong on this, but I would consider a majority, high majority of passers would prefer their platform. Um,
Obviously, because
especially,
you don't see a lot of them using their hands, even on a float.
yeah, I mean, I think that the higher you get in volleyball, the more force that a serve is going to have. Ultimately, the goal is to basically like be right over the tape. So depending on where you line up, which majority of the time it's say let's say the 14-foot line, um, that's gonna be in an awkward position to take at your head to use your hands if in fact that serve is like a line drive dropper, you know? So I think just if I dare say, I think passing with your platform is ultimately more consistent and easier to control
For
a
you.
majority of the serves.
Okay.
There are serves definitely where hands would be easier. It would be more successful. It would be easier
Hmm.
to direct. Um, but we just don't overall. It's not a habit or a technique I think a lot of us use.
So then what is the technique on a high floater with your platform? off to the side, pick a
Yeah, I
side.
mean, who knows nowadays what there I feel like there are a lot of methods, but I think the most important thing is to keep space between your arms and your body. If your arms are close to your body, you're not going to have the right angles and the ball's most likely not going forward. So, whether you want to take it on your side, that's fine as long as there's space and you have the right angle.
Okay.
Um, but definitely a topspin serve is a platform. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's like a shank from the
right.
server, there's not really a shot that you're gonna use your hands for that.
But
Going
those
back
are a
to
lot
that comment
easier.
you
I
brought
mean,
up.
those are the top spin is unless it's a Natalie Foster serve, which is unpredictable. But most top spins you can predict and just get in the way of the ball and it'll pop up.
Yeah. Well, Natalie's, remember, is kind of a hybrid most of the
Right.
time. It has its own little stank on it. But yeah, I've always said topspin serves are almost always easier to pass than a float serve.
Almost always
Just because
baby
you
food.
can, well, it just doesn't move as much as a
Right.
float should,
And then when it does
right?
move,
Like
it's
if you do a
predictable.
float correct, it could
Yeah.
go anywhere.
Right.
With a topspin, you pretty much can see the path that it's going to take from the moment it hits the server's hand.
And with when you take it with your hands, I feel like you can even chuck ball a little bit, redirect. It can stick a little bit, and they don't call that anymore. I don't know if that's at every level.
Well, on first contact, you kind of have like that gray area to kind of do something like you just described, so
Right.
they're not going to call that on
Right.
the first contact. Now, if you do that on the second or even the third, they're going to call it.
They still don't call it, even with this when the setter chucks it, redirects like a BMAC.
Like over the net on two.
No, on your side.
When, oh yeah, if a setter like basically doubles on the same
Yes.
side,
Yep.
yeah, that's no longer a thing.
Right.
Which kind of like irks me because you're taking away from the game. Like
Right.
that's what like the game requires you to play clean. And so that ruling just I don't think I'm in favor for because it's like back to like the classic donut analogy that we had. Like
Hmm.
now you're just like you're adding filling or you're adding sprinkles and like okay, sometimes yeah, this is better tasting, but in this situation I'm like, I don't think we should reward people
Right.
for incorrect play or incorrect technique, whatever you want to fill in the blank there with. But
So
I
from
don't love that rule.
your perspective, you think the beach rules have it right,
Oh, that's I feel like that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole
but it
different
is
game.
so tight. I mean, you can't even have a spin on your set. You call me for my hands
I'm
on the serve,
I know, but that's such a different game.
and it's
It's
so. I mean, that's only doubles. It's a lot harder.
I,
Sand.
I it's a different conversation. I don't
I
know.
agree.
I feel like it's different.
Let me give you this one. This is the last comment from one of the clips that I wanted to talk about. It was about how do you win a joust, and you said you have to be second, and the comment was be last, not second. Is that
Okay,
two?
essentially
Is that
that's the
apples?
same thing.
Is that the same thing?
I feel like that's the same thing because in a joust, there's two people.
Right.
You you never see four people or three people go up on a joust. It's two. So whoever is second is technically last.
That's what
I
I
think
didn't
that was
understand.
given.
Why somebody would comment that. Is there
Unless they
another
were thinking
scenario?
like maybe one person touches, then the next person touches, and then the first person gets the chance to touch it again. Maybe
Okay.
then that person is correct in saying be last instead of second. But
Okay.
I mean, you're not really gonna see that often unless someone's like 6'6" plus and they're already like on the ground and they're still touching the ball, maybe. But
I got you.
I appreciate that person's
Right.
particularity, but I think we're ultimately saying the same thing.
That's what I was wondering if there was an actual scenario that you could imagine where that would support his position, but it sounds like it not really. It's more of the same. Let's get into week 15 recap. The Omaha Supernovas played Orlando on Thursday. You picked Omaha. I picked Orlando. I was wrong. Omaha swept.
Omaha sweeps. They played beautifully. Oh, I'm
They
on
did.
cloud nine this week because we'll get into the other match, but I feel like they're coming out of their shell. Like I feel like, obviously they still have work to be done and the season's not over yet. The playoffs still are not clinched by them, so they still have to perform, but I'm just so happy to see like this freedom in them and just like the joy and the success that they're having now.
I would say they look like a completely different team in this match. I also
They
made note of some type of record or some type of note that Thomas was the youngest coach in
like
pro
90.
sport. What is it? Pro sports history in 90 years or something like that to win a professional match. Help me out with that
Yeah, you're spot on. Um I'd have to look up. I'm pulling up the exact.
verbiage.
Coach. He became the youngest coach to win a US pro sports match in 90 plus years.
I mean, that's hard to wrap your mind around. Is that surprising to you?
Um Surprising, yes, because of the simple fact, like, he wasn't the head coach, a few weeks ago,
Right.
and this change itself is surprising. But I know Thomas very well, and I'm not
Right.
surprised that he, A, can handle this, B, enjoy it. It's like
Right.
not something that's like he's weighed down in stress and like pressure. That's not Thomas. He's like, "Oh my gosh, like this is my dream. Like let's
Right.
ride."
Right.
Um and so in surprising in the fact or sorry, not surprising in the fact that like Thomas can win. He is a winner. He knows how to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So was really happy for him. Sent him a text right away after this match, just congratulating him because it was okay. The second and third set were a lot closer, but overall, it just felt like an easier win. And it seemed like the team and him, they were having so much fun. And
Right.
so just really was happy to see it.
Do you know, is Sydney Hilly hurt or is Brooke Mosier, has she taken the starting setting position in the last couple matches?
I think it's the simple fact of the connection with Brooke Mosier right now is just a little bit more consistent and a little more
Okay.
successful.
Okay. And as we can talk a little bit about Orlando, but before we do that, I want to talk about, is Thomas making a case for himself to become the Supernovas next head coach for the next season? What does he have to do to, I mean, is that on the table? Is this a, let's see how it goes? Is, what does he need to do to lock in that?
I think that, yes, he is, I guess, making a, how did you exactly phrase it? Like making a
Making a
case for
case for
himself?
himself. Yeah, to be one of the a
Um,
top candidate for the position next year.
yeah, I think this is great for Thomas's, let's say, resume.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know what the future holds. And
But it
maybe it's
can't hurt.
something he,
His success
no,
can't hurt
definitely.
him.
I mean, the fact remains that Thomas wants to be, he wants to be a coach, right? There is probably a day when he doesn't want to be an assistant. He wants to be a head. And so, yes, this is helping him. This is giving him that experience. This is giving him, that little check on his resume for sure. But is it his time yet? Whether that's with the Supernovas or with a different team or maybe even up to Thomas. Maybe that transfer from assistant to head is not
Hmm.
necessarily what him and his family want at this
Okay.
moment in time.
Yeah.
Um, but ultimately, I do think that this is only beneficial for him.
Yeah. Winning
Definitely.
never hurts your resume. Bottom line,
Exactly.
it only helps
Exactly.
it. Now, in that match,
Yeah.
what's
So
happening with Orlando? What's going on there? Wh- What are you seeing?
I
What are you feeling?
I just I just hate to say, but I just feel like this was a really disappointing performance by Orlando, which makes me happy as a Supernovas fan, but makes me sad for like an MLV fan. I just wonder if there's something deeper going on, which who knows, but with Brittany being gone like all these weeks and now trying to come back and they also have different hires with I think is it Zoe? I think
Hmm.
Zoe with Orlando. Um, so I just and then now you see like they're running like that two libero system, and so I just am like there's something from an outside perspective, it seems like there's something like eating away at their team,
Right.
and Amy Polly is trying to figure it out and obviously overcome that. I just don't know if it's too little, too late now.
To
Um,
to your
that's
point,
just
obviously.
that's just me. Like that is totally just my interpretation of the game. I'm
Hmm.
like, man, is this egos? Is it, plans for next season that are getting in the way? Or is it the doubt, coming back? Or because we had well, Hannah Automatics came back and
Right.
she definitely was the player that was carrying her team in this specific match, but I'm just like, is it doubt? Is it the pressure because of where they're standing? I mean,
Right.
this week alone, we it was very telling like who could handle the
Right.
pressure and who could not.
Right.
We see that log jam in, places. I don't know. I think San Diego is probably safe, but in that fourth, fifth, sixth, maybe even that seventh spot.
Right.
And these matches were absolutely crucial for so many of
Right.
those teams. And we definitely saw who who
Right.
handled it and who didn't. So
In golf, they call Saturday before the final day moving day. That's when guys really start to find their positions. I feel like this was moving week in the MLV, and I was actually expecting a scrap between Omaha and Orlando fighting for that, third, fourth position, and they didn't show up. Orlando didn't show up to the scrap. They didn't show up to the fight, and I have no reason. I have no understanding of why. I can't make any sense of it. Because
I
from my
mean,
perspective,
I
this
don't think
season was on
any
the line in this match, and Omaha was coming off. Was it two sweeps where they had gotten at least two losses? The two losses in a row. They weren't coming off a high note. This was a great
right.
opportunity for them to show up to a fight and provide a knockout blow, and they didn't even show up.
Yeah. And that's why specifically I think there's something internally
Yeah.
probably eating away at them. And you and I are not going to know. A
Right.
lot of people aren't going to know. I feel like the only people who know what's going on and who can figure it out are the coaches and the players. So, I guess we'll see what happens this week.
You've been
Um,
talking about this week after week, the number of missed serves and how the missed serves impact the outcome of the matches. This was another
it's
prime example of, I think there was 12 for Omaha, 11 for Orlando in a
yeah,
sweep. Is that a lot? That's
I think
23
so.
total
Yeah.
misses in three sets. That's like a set. That's a set of misses.
Well, combined.
Yes.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm like trying to like chill out. I'm like, am I being over analytical here or what? But um I actually like I was talking with AI and I was trying to compare like love versus MLV and the missed serving specifically. And it was really interesting how it broke it down. Like it did say that love overall has fewer missed serves, but it broke it down in strategy. So with love, it emphasized more positional focused
Mm-hmm.
And so they're maybe not necessarily going 100%. They're more like aiming and targeting. When in the MLV, they're really like going for it and being like aggression is
Yeah.
really more of their strategy. And I was like, okay, like that's actually a nice way to put it. And if that is in fact true, I'll take it. You know, I can't argue with going for it and being aggressive, but I think what I can argue is understanding when to be aggressive and when not to. If my team
Right.
is already at 10 missed serves, all right, now is not the time to go for the ace. Now is the
Right.
time to at least put them in a bad position and us in a good position. If I go back and miss my serve 10 feet out of bounds or in the bottom of the tape, I'm not even giving my team a chance or the other team a chance to make the error instead.
Right.
So I just like I'm trying to like calm myself down, like, Gina, it's
Right.
okay. But I'm just like so irritated by it this season. And I don't know if I'm necessarily on board all the time, 100% aggression at the service
Right.
line. I think I would rather err on the caution side of like, I'm going to get it in, but I'm not going to make it a lollipop, but I'm going to do my best to at least force them to make the error and not us.
For our
But
younger audience, our younger volleyball players out there, and maybe our coaches, what can the players do? What are some things they need to do, consider, mindset, routines, positions, picking a spot on the court, mixing the depth? What are some things that they can do to help increase their effectiveness and decrease their service errors from your
when
experience?
it comes to serving, I think of two things. I think of routine.
Okay.
Routine is, I think, one of, if not the most important thing when it comes to serving. So when you go back and you do the same thing over and over and over, you're
Like a
forcing
free throw,
yourself to
right?
have like a free throw. You have this muscle memory. If you go back and you do it for the millionth time, you're going to have confidence because you've done it a million times and you're going to be able to, execute. On top of that, I think it's really important for coaches to force the players to experience that pressure in practices. If you don't, let's say, penalize, or if you don't, there's a lot of different ways you can add pressure to the
Mm-hmm.
serving in practice. If coaches never do that, a player is never going to be prepared for it. So I think routine and practicing under pressure are the two most important things when it specifically comes to serving.
What was your routine?
Oh, it's been a while. I think I did 4 bounces because
Yeah,
that was just
down
by
low ones.
feel.
Weren't you a low bouncer?
That was a low bouncer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like do
Two
do do
hand
do
low
do.
bounce.
Two-hand toss. Yeah, that's it. I mean, take a deep breath. That's always highly encouraged before serving. Um, yeah, mine was pretty simple. I wasn't like I think of like Elizabeth Inna.
Mm-hmm.
She has to have her toes on the service line within the court before she even
Yeah.
can touch the ball.
Receives it. Yeah.
Before before she crosses that end line, she has to toss the ball in the air and then walk past that service line to catch it and then finishes out her routine. I'm not that elaborate. I'm not like that. Natalia Valentine Anderson also does something like that where she has to like be within the court before they toss her the ball and she catches it.
To
And then she's
simplify
got
the
like a bounce,
approach.
bounce, spin, bounce, bounce,
Yeah.
spin, and then she's got
Yep.
an interesting approach too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But the bottom
no,
line is
me,
the
I'm just
routine.
boring.
Routine number one, and then practicing the serve under pressure.
Yep,
That's awesome. And then
that's it.
also, I did want to touch upon if your team is struggling, they're having a lot of service errors because the coach is on the sideline telling them 1-5 what position to serve to. If they're struggling just getting the serve in, and you're putting too much maybe pressure on them to hit a spot, is there do they just lay off? I mean, when do you just say just get the thing in and let's at least initiate a point?
I think it depends on what level you're coaching. If we're talking professionally, I think it's uh not what's the word I'm looking for. If if we're talking professionally and you don't know how to serve under pressure to at least a position, I think you need to get some more time in the gym. But if you're talking more so to high school, maybe even college, or club, I think that's really on the coach to feed confidence to that player who's going back to the service line. So instead of saying like five, I want you to serve five, get it in.
Hmm.
I think it's
Yeah.
more so important for that coach to be like, you got this. I want to see a strong serve, whatever you feel comfortable with. I want you to go for it, and you got this. Like, there's a
And
totally difference
you're saying
in a coach.
hit the serve you feel comfortable with and hit whatever spot you feel comfortable with
Yeah, so I
at that
think like
level.
it's more so on the coach's side of like that's on them to help their servers
Right.
get it in at that level. I think professionally, again, if you, if you can't tell a professional volleyball player where to serve, then that's a problem. Um, but I don't think that's an issue with us.
In your mind, in the MOV, what is a high error rate, service rate indicative of? High service rate, what is that indicative of?
Like, what does that mean if they have a high
Yes.
service rate?
Yes. Service error rate. Is that concentration? Is that
I, I would
could be a
first
lot of
ask
things?
I would first ask the coach and like the team, is your strategy aggression? Like, are you trying to go for it right away? Because if aggression is in fact your strategy, then I guess you should be okay with missed serves. But if your team is not going for aggression and they're still having a ton of missed serves, I think that
Which
that
we see
means
a
that
lot, which we see a lot.
I think it goes under, I think it's then about pressure. I think it's more so about handling pressure. And I hate to say it because it seems silly, but I think missing your serves is highly contagious. I
Oh,
don't know
that's
why it is that way, but I've felt it as a player like every season. Like there's a match when maybe two people in front of you miss their serve and then you go back and miss it. And it's like, duh, like I know I wasn't supposed to miss it. I thought I was going to do well. Like I felt confident. I don't know why it is that way, but I am a believer in missed serves are contagious. And
to piggyback on that. Also, I've noticed a lot of this in the MLV coming out of a timeout, a service error coming out of a timeout.
yeah, which that's like a sin.
Right.
You can't do that. Like that's like volleyball 101. You can't miss after a timeout or on match point.
Those are the two.
Um,
Those
those
are
are
the
the
two
two
no
big
nos.
no-nos.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why it goes back to me just like unfortunately in that moment, I feel like they didn't handle pressure, which I can't confidently say that that's every single miss serve. I do believe that you can go back there feeling confident, going for it, but also controlled. And, you know, the ball moves differently. Some gyms, the air moves differently. I know you're probably like, what?
Come
And that's a
on.
real thing. There, it does. It does. There's, you know, altitude makes a difference sometimes. So, I can't say all missed serves are because you can't handle pressure. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Um, but I do feel like a lot of missed serves, maybe not a majority, but a lot this season have been simply because they just
Okay.
couldn't get it in.
Okay. Let's move on. On Friday night, the Mojo played Atlanta. This was another Atlanta was in the mix for the third or fourth spot. Expected them to show up, and they were swept by San Diego. Pretty competitive sweeps nonetheless, but I expected a dogfight and didn't get it. Another disappointment from my perspective.
Yeah, I would agree. And um I'm just, I don't know. I feel like Jackie Moore did really well, and then Aiko and Leah did overall. But they didn't have like that second outside contributing. So whether it was Jenny Mosier or Taylor Swift Smith or
Hmm.
Pia, I just feel like that second outside position wasn't necessarily contributing, and that alone could have been the game changer, could have made this even more competitive sweep or forced a fourth or a fifth or reverse the outcome.
Right.
Atlanta is a team where I think that they do need all seven players to perform. Although they have Leah, they have Aiko who are
Yes.
very dominant, I still think that they're a team that relies on the the team aspect. Like they need all seven players.
Right. You're
And
saying
unfortunately, I just don't think.
gone are the days where Leah could put the team on her back. They need all everybody.
Yeah. But for San Diego, Maya Tabron, she's been doing super well.
Hmm.
I thought Shada had another great performance as libero. Morgan Lewis got the start, so I'm not sure what was going on with Giovanna. The commentary just said that she wasn't available,
Hmm.
but I can't help, and I think you agree. Like Morgan should be getting the starts, it seems like. And now that she did get the start, now we know she can handle the start because I think in a previous week I was like, maybe she's a player that's better off the bench. But
Right.
now we see that she can start and perform well. So San Diego, this is not a secret. San Diego is a hot team right now.
They are.
That's for
Yep.
sure.
Right. Jenny Mosser is her name. I think you called her Mosier. I think it's Mosser. Is she
My
a new
bad.
hire? A new hire?
Yeah, she came from Italy.
Okay, she's the one that came from Italy. So
Yeah,
it looked like they tried her. It just wasn't helping.
correct.
To your point, I think that was the first time I've seen her actually play in a match, or had she been playing prior to that?
Um, I think she came in a little bit last week.
Okay, let's move on
Sometimes
to
these
Indy
weeks
versus
blur
Grand
together.
Rapids. We both picked Indy, and we both picked wrong.
I know
Losers.
this one was kind of bizarre. Grand Rapids won 25 18. They lost the second 25-20, and then they won 25-23, 25-23. So they definitely battled. It's not like Indy just laid down and just got whooped.
Hmm.
They battled. I just wonder about this starting lineup. Like in this specific match. Then, as we see, like Indy playing Dallas later on, it's a different story. But after this match, I just thought, does Indy want the number one seed? Did it affect like did
Because
those
of who they
this?
started, you're asking that because of who they started in the match,
Yeah,
but they've been doing that
yeah.
all year.
Um,
How is
I
this
don't
different? I didn't see
know.
the match.
Like Mia didn't start,
Okay.
so which that to me is that's a
Yeah,
big
that's a
change.
red
That's like,
flag.
well, I don't want to call it a red flag. I just thought, okay, that's
Question mark.
interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like it could have been for several reasons, right? It could have been like, let's rest Mia. It could have been like, let's give, how do you say her name? The other setter.
Is that Pack or Pop?
No, bro, that's Columbus
Wrong,
Fury.
wrong team.
Anise,
I don't know.
she's also Pacific Islander, just like
Okay.
Mia.
Okay.
Um,
So
Havili.
did
Anyway,
Mia end up coming in or not?
Mia did come in sets two and three.
Okay.
But it was short-lived. So
Okay.
anyway, I just am like, there could have been a lot of different reasons. I thought, do they not want the number one seed? And that's no disrespect towards the players who did start. But I just thought, did that different lineup kind of affect their mindset going into this match? Did this lineup expose any weaknesses? It was just a lot of different thoughts, but at the end of the day, everyone on Indy is really good and can perform. And Who's this could have just been a one-off. But also credit to Grand Rapids. They fought for this win.
And you mentioned Elizabeth. You mentioned Elizabeth Enna, and who else played good? Carly.
Carly Snyder and
Yeah,
Al Hassan.
yeah.
So I've been really impressed with Al Hassan because she's been injured for like it feels like a majority of the season, and
Right.
she's just hopped right back in like she's never left.
Were you surprised they came out with a win and played so well without PBR? I mean, as one of the top, she wasn't one of the top scorers. I mean,
No, I think PBR did kind of struggle a little bit in this match. She only had nine points, 9 kills. She hit 129. So it does kind of surprise me, yes. But they, I, when you have a strong middle and you have a strong opposite, you could probably get away occasionally,
and they're kind of
with maybe
surging
an
right now.
outside move. What's
They
that?
could sneak up and grab that fourth spot. Legit.
Grand Rapids?
Yes. You'll see in the
There.
standings when we get to the standings. I'm just saying keep one eye on them as we get
I
down to these
know.
last 2 weeks.
I know. I
Okay.
know.
Let's move on to Columbus
But
and
I was
Dallas.
just saying they ain't
Yeah.
doing it because that means that they would kick us out. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen.
Well,
But yeah, so
maybe
the next match.
yeah. Keep your eye on them. I'm just saying just keep one eye on them. Columbus versus Dallas. We both picked Dallas. Dallas swept Columbus. You said it was pretty competitive.
I said it only 2 sets. It was
Yeah.
26 24, 25 15, and then 25 23. So two of those 3 sets were won by 2 points.
Have you
Columbus
ever
just
been in
seemed
a
like,
position like this where the Columbus is in right now, where they really have nothing to play for in terms of postseason aspirations? How does
sorry,
that
what was your
impact them?
question?
Have you ever been in a position like that where your team's not really relevant towards the end of the season as it relates to postseason aspirations? I mean, what's the motivation
Hmm.
other than spoiler?
I feel like I'm gonna sound like I'm flexing here, but I don't know if I've ever been in a situation like this.
Okay. But
Trying to
anyway,
think.
while you're thinking about that,
Okay,
there were 26 missed serves in a three-set match. 26.
dude, I am just that is so sickening. I do think that Dallas is leading the league this year in missed serves.
Oh,
I
really?
think
As a
that
team?
Sophia and Mimi are the highest serving errors
Mm,
in the league. I was kind of exploring that on AI a week or maybe 2 weeks ago, and
okay.
I think Dallas does lead in service errors.
But you also did
And
mention that you were
they
pretty
have a lot of aggressive serves. Like that's where I'm like, okay, I get it, but they have a lot of aggressive servers, so it makes sense. But man, again, it
right.
just at some point you got to play it safe.
You were pretty
Um,
impressed with Carter Booth making her. Was this her debut in the MLB?
yep, yep. She made an entrance and she did really well, and I was just kind of like, uh-oh, like um
How was her connection
another
with
strong
Nati?
force. It was good. Like I think that she maybe don't quote me on this, but I think she ended the match on a slide kill.
Okay.
I think. Um so yeah, I think that she is gonna be an impact maker right
Okay.
away, and she seems like an emotional player. What I mean by that is like when she goes into the playoffs too, I think that's only gonna fuel her even more. I know in this next match she wasn't as competitive, but I feel like she's someone who's going to turn it on when the
Okay.
playoffs start.
So now in the middle position, the Poles have Booth. They have Caitlin Horde. They have Savage. Is there a fourth?
Yeah, I think it's Carson Bacon.
Okay, yeah. Who do you think is going to get the nod as we down the home stretch here? I guess they'll probably alternate. I mean, they're really not playing for a whole lot, so maybe they'll just give everybody an opportunity to kind of battle it out a little bit to see who's going to get the starting nod in the Final Four.
Yep, that would be my guess.
Let's move on to
So
Sunday's matches where Grand
yeah,
Rapids.
let's go ahead
Oh
and
no,
get
Grand
through
Rapids
these.
played Columbus.
Your favorite two teams battling it out.
For some reason, you picked Columbus and I picked Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids one and
Yeah,
four.
I thought Columbus would have some fuel playing at home, and um, I thought they would just wreck some things up, but that's okay. I'll take this one. I'll take the L on this one.
Right, and this was a second win for Grand Rapids in on the week, and like I said, you got to keep one eye on them as we get into the home stretch here because they're climbing in the rankings. You mentioned something about a donut hole versus a donut.
I just I don't know why. I don't know if it caught me just in a funny moment or what, but the commentator was like, "Yep, she tipped it right in the donut hole." I just started laughing because I'm like, in volleyball, like we don't really call it the donut hole. It's just the donut. So when he added, like laughing all over again. I don't know. When he just said the donut hole, made
When
me
when you
laugh.
when you here's how it works. When you say donut, that's a position on the floor. But when you say donut hole, that means the ball actually hit the donut, the hole in the donut, and hit the floor.
If you want to roll with that, that's fine. But it just, I don't know why. It just makes me giggle. It made me laugh. So that's all we need to say about that match. We can move on.
I'll roll with it. I'll just keep rolling on like a donut.
Nice.
Omaha versus Atlanta. We both picked Omaha. Omaha sweeps. This was the second loss in a row for Atlanta. I think they're pretty much out of the competition for the Final Four. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Are you
This
surprised by that?
was,
Knowing their coaching staff, knowing their players, knowing their history of the
I
franchise,
am,
knowing Leah Edmond.
yeah, all those things. It is surprising. I feel like just maybe even a week ago, maybe like definitely a different feeling, but after this specific week, it's like, oh man, like just kind of a punch in the gut for them. They have Leah, they have Caleb Banworth as the coach, they have Bird as the coach. It is very surprising. However, not to make this about me, at the very beginning, we can go back to episode, I don't know, 3 when we started diving into these teams. I predicted that I didn't think Atlanta was going to perform as well this year, and I didn't even predict them in the Final Four. So, I kind of had a feeling this would happen. Ultimately, I am still surprised that they are now seventh in the standings,
Right.
but um, I
Pretty much
had
mathematically
a
eliminated.
feeling about it. What was that?
Pretty much mathematically eliminated from the Final Four.
Correct. But to Omaha, this was an extremely exciting match. Oh my goodness, I was jumping up and down, was drooling. I was tearing up, like tears of joy. It just was such a fun match to watch as a Supernova fan. I don't know about you, but I could like feel the joy from the
Right.
team and from Thomas and Blake and Ellen. Like I could feel that through the TV, and
Right.
it made my heart so happy. The team hit 413.
More
Merritt,
importantly, did the coaching change unlock Merritt Beeson? She looks like a different player. We knew she had it in her. What do you attribute the drastic change in her performance to? Does it have anything to do with the coaching, the culture? Do you see them they're anything different?
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to her inner confidence. Whether maybe that was sparked by the coaching change, maybe it was sparked by team culture. Maybe, she talks about Emily being a very excuse me, a very helpful teammate for her. Maybe it was that relationship. Who knows what maybe kickstarted it, but I think ultimately it just came down to Merritt's playing with confidence, she's playing with joy.
Hmm.
And so with any player that is able to, knock off that pressure, knock off doubt or fear or coach or culture, whatever it
Hmm.
may be, once they get to play with joy and freedom, anyone anyone who does that can perform out of their minds.
Right.
I think like all sports are like 70% mental. And
Right.
so again, once you whatever gets you to unlock that freedom and joy, it could be different depending on each player, but I'm just happy to see Merritt is playing with so much joy. She's having fun, she's smiling. The team is, right there encouraging her, celebrating her. Um, so hopefully we can continue to see that. But in this match, literally everything was working for Omaha, and literally everything was not working for Atlanta. I
Right.
actually was like, I like just was like, man, this was a total domination. I think this was like the shortest match in like all three seasons, because of how fast like Omaha dominated.
Yeah, it was 21,
Um,
11, and 14. 21, 11, and 14, which is probably under an hour, hour and a half. I don't know. Quick
it was
match, but
definitely under an hour and a half. I don't think an
yeah.
hour, but
Okay.
close.
You mentioned Caleb Banworth getting caught on camera talking to the team. What did you mean by that?
It was hilarious to
Was somebody
me.
mic'd up?
No, no one was mic'd up, but it was a very clear shot of straight on to Kayla talking with the girls, and she had some choice words to say, and it was hilarious. Because then the commentator was like, yeah, so as you can see, Kayla is talking to her team about defense, and I would have to agree with her. Like, the team really needs to step up their defense, something like that. And so it was just funny because everybody could lip read what Kayla was
So that
saying.
was his
Um,
interpretation of what she was saying. What was your interpretation?
no, everyone could lip read what she was saying.
It was,
And
can you,
it was about defense, but she just
okay.
had some choice words in there. Yeah, so it was funny. Just I know it's not funny in the moment for them, and I hope, Bird or Bo or Kayla are listening. Like I don't mean any disrespect because I've been there. Like I get very emotional too. Um,
Mhm.
but hopefully when they look back now, they can maybe just giggle a little bit.
What was fun, what was interesting was that it was caught on camera. And sometimes you'll see those moments on camera and they'll go away if it was, a little bit dicey conversation. But you're saying they kept the they kept the camera on.
They kept that camera rolling because that was like the first thing she said, and then she kept going, and the camera did not move.
Okay.
So
Let's move on.
moving
San
on.
Diego played Orlando. You picked Orlando and I picked San Diego, and San Diego sweeps easy.
Yeah, I don't know why I picked Orlando. I don't know. Because it was at Orlando, I just figured, which I figured out that I've been incorrectly thinking all this season. I'm always like, oh, Orlando will play at home, they have to fight for the playoffs. They'll have like the luck on their side, all those things. Consistently throughout this entire MLV season, the teams have had more success on the road than they have at home. So I'm
Hmm.
like, why have I not, like, I realized that, but why have I not applied it to my predictions? So
Right.
anyway, San Diego, they're a hot team.
Hmm.
Sambothi, really a difference maker again. Alicia Glash Childress is just really, making an impact, really making a name for herself as a coach. I mean, look what she's done this year, like bringing the bottom team to the playoffs.
Right.
And it's just a really nice thing to see.
Didn't she
And
also
with
accept a coaching position for the national team? Did you read that?
Not for like the head national team. I think it's
Right,
U23,
right.
maybe, or maybe it was U21. But yeah, and I think that that's a great ad. I think she'll do really well there.
So that's a resume
Um,
builder.
yes. So then
Excellent.
with Orlando, we really only had like Natalie,
Right.
led with 10 points and ace. But just I don't think that they have a shot.
No,
Well,
I think they're
I
on.
don't know. Maybe they have a shot still.
No, I
Mm,
mean you can't get swept twice in 1 week and bounce back and just, oh,
yeah.
here we are. I mean that has to be mentally
But what if Orlando wins this week and Grand Rapids loses? And I don't know. I don't know. I can't do the math in my head. I'd have to ask
right.
Chad.
Let's move on to the next one. Dallas played Indy, and this was my match of the week. And the reason why is because Indy sold out their stadium, is what they were advertising, which was pretty impressive. Have you been there? I can't remember, to the new stadium.
Not to Indy, no.
Right.
But I
That's
think
pretty
it was
impressive for
only,
them to.
I don't want to, let me restart. It is impressive that they sold out. That's amazing. I love the support and like the attention that that match in our league got. But just to put in perspective, I believe they like sold out at only like it was in the 6,000 range. And so just to
That's
put in
pretty
perspective,
good
like,
around the
no, I
league wide. That's
Dude, I'm saying that's exciting.
so.
I
What's
was
your
just
point?
saying to put in perspective of the CHI, we sold out at 17,000 almost. And so maybe they need to look for a different gym next time, a bigger one.
Oh, that's your point right there, huh? The gym couldn't hold them. They were too hot to handle, too cold to hold. But they did
Just
win.
that,
They did
exactly.
win.
They did win. And I think I picked Dallas. I thought Dallas I picked Dallas because I thought Indy's going to be the number one seed, most likely. They don't want to like show all their weapons and, exert all this energy when
Hmm.
they're, let's say, if they're in their minds, they're thinking they're going to meet Dallas in the finals.
Right.
I was just, it was a lot of thought process there for maybe no reason at all. But I
Right.
did pick Dallas and I lost. But Indy 1-4.
And
Um,
post game interview, Lydia did mention that they're preparing to meet Dallas in the championship game of the Final Four. So, and
Yeah,
they,
what did you mean by that? Because you put that because they own them. Was that a
I
Lydia
think
comment or were you just
they,
adding that?
no, that was my interpretation of what of
Gotcha.
the previous four matches, the previous four times they play. I think it was 4-0 Indy. So I mean,
Mm.
they're obviously the two best teams in the league, and hopefully we'll get to see them in the Final
Hopefully we'll get
Four.
to see them in the semis. So that means Omaha can
Right.
play one of them in the finals.
Well, Omaha, I think, wants to play Indy. They match up well with Indy, and they don't match up too bad with Dallas either.
Right. I think Omaha plays at a higher level against the higher teams. I think that they struggle more so when they're playing teams beneath them, which is interesting. But
And they
all
also
right,
play at
let's
a
move
higher
on
level
because
away from
you're
home. Away from home, they
what?
play at a higher level.
Yeah, that too. We're kind of getting pushed for time here, so let's keep on rolling.
Okay. Rookie of the week.
I picked Brooke Mosier.
I
Oh,
picked Brooke Mosier.
you copied me.
High key, impressive player. You picked.
I ended up picking Merritt Beeson. In the first match last week, she had 3 blocks, 3 aces, 9 kills. In the second match, she had 2 blocks and 14 kills. And the reason why maybe she beat someone out like Carly Snyder or I don't know who else, or is because of the position she was in. So like
Okay.
not being a starter all season long and
Hmm.
then getting her. maybe it was not her first start, but getting back in that starting position and then dominating and getting player of the match both times, I
Hmm.
thought, okay, that's tip of the cap.
Good for her. She's the hit. I got Sarah Parsons for the Omaha Supernovas. I feel like she's back in full strength. There was a time there she started the season and then kind of didn't look real strong, but I feel like she's really back now, making a high impact for the Supernovas. So let's go to low key impressive player, the lip. You have,
I am picking Taylor Sambothi from San Diego.
and I'm picking Merritt as my
Okay.
low key impressive player. How about a match of the week? I'm going with Dallas versus Indy for the sole 1 versus 2 matchup. I think it's
I'm
good to see
going
late
with
season
Omaha versus Atlanta.
in a sweep.
That
How can you
was,
have a match of the week be a sweep?
dude, we are not going to get into this again, but that was so like just
Non-competitive.
oh my gosh, no, it was like why would you not want to see your favorite team like completely dominate?
I'm just saying it wasn't the
I
match of the week though.
In my opinion it was.
Okay,
That was no one was anticipating a blowout like that. So
right.
that's entertaining in itself of like, whoa, this is not what I was anticipating. Um and so it was fun. It was fun for me to watch. I loved that one.
Okay, let's go to the league standings after week 3. There are basically 3 teams battling for the last 2 spots with 2 weeks to play. Indy sitting at 792, Dallas at 720. So that's 1 and 2 locked in, pretty much locked in there. San Diego's third at .542, but they still have Dallas, Columbus, Grand Rapids, and Indy to play. Omaha sitting at
Yeah.
500. They only have 2 matches. Columbus and Dallas. Is that an advantage or disadvantage to only have 2 matches with a week in between the 2 matches?
I think if they win, then it's an advantage because you have more rest time, which is
Okay.
something we did not have last year or really the year before. Um, and so if they win, it's an advantage. If they lose, then it's like it's tough to just sit there and twirl your fingers until you figure out the results of the other teams. But
And sitting in fifth right now is Grand Rapids at 440 with 3 matches to play, including Atlanta, Orlando, and Mojo. 3 winnable matches for them. That's why I'm saying keep one eye on them as we get down to the last 2 weeks.
you think Grand Rapids can beat San Diego?
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. I think
But
San
that'll
Diego's
be
too hot right now.
that'll
Like I
be a
think they
huge
got things
match.
figured out.
That'll be a huge match. Orlando, from I think they're pretty much out of it in the 6th position, and I didn't see any fight out of them this week. So I'm kind of I think they're going to be on the outside looking in.
Same. I agree with
Okay,
that.
and then with Atlanta and Columbus bringing up the 7th and 8th spot, and they're pretty much on the outside looking in as well.
Yep. All
Let's go
right,
week
let's look
16
into
preview.
week
Go ahead.
16.
You can lead this.
Oh, starting on Wednesday this week, we have Atlanta versus Grand Rapids, 6 p.m. on Scripps. I'm going with Grand Rapids.
Hey, cheater!
What?
You can't change your mind.
I I at first I was picking Atlanta because I think
No.
Leah Edmond doesn't
Mm,
accept losing. But then after all we were just talking, I'm just like, yeah,
mm,
but they need all 7 players, and I don't
right.
know.
Grand
So
Rapids
I
for me
switched
too.
it. Okay. Then we have on Thursday another match, which is Indy versus Orlando. It's 6 p.m. on Roku. I This is
Indy,
an
Indy,
easy
yeah.
one. Yeah, I like you said it well. I just didn't see any fight in Orlando,
No,
it seemed like.
no.
So then Friday we have 2 matches. First we have Columbus versus Omaha. That's 7 p.m. YouTube or Scripps. I'm definitely rolling with the Omaha
Omaha,
Supernovas.
Omaha, yep.
Now, let me remind you, Columbus beat Omaha at home this year, so we got to change that, but I'm not worried.
No.
Then we have Dallas versus San Diego, which is 9 p.m. on Scripps and YouTube, and I'm going with San Diego.
I'm going to go with Dallas, even though Dallas doesn't have a whole lot to play for in terms of positioning, but San Diego really does.
Yeah. And that is a part of the reason of my decision. I also can't help but think of the San Diego flu and how it's really hard to win there. And San Diego beat Dallas at home, didn't they?
San
Pretty
Diego
sure.
beat Dallas. Yeah.
We'll have to go back and look. But then Saturday, just one match, and that's Orlando versus Grand Rapids, 6 p.m. on YouTube. I'm picking.
Here
Shoot, I
she
had
goes.
Orlando
Here
here.
she goes. Watch her change. I'm going Grand Rapids. You can change
I'm
to,
going Grand Rapids.
dude.
I I don't know. Okay, all right, all right, all right. I'll keep it with Orlando. Maybe they'll have a little bit of fight left. Who knows? But we'll see. Then last closing out the weekend on Sunday, we'll have San Diego versus Columbus, 1 p.m. on Vice. I'm picking San Diego.
Same.
And then we have Indy versus Atlanta.
Indy.
2 p.m. CBS Sports Network. I think I'm
Indy.
going Indy too. No, the reason why I hesitate because I'm like, is that right? Did I? Let me just check myself here really quick. And I got that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
you're
correct.
good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
And that will do it for this episode of the Major League Minute Podcast. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And we'll see you next time on the Major League Minute.